Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to my kitchen. This is Mark, Killer Grub with Mark, and today we are going to make pork adobo. I'm sure all of you don't know this, but my wife is Filipino, and I've told her that I wanted to learn how to make authentic Filipino foods. And one of my favorite things to eat in the Philippines, one of them, there's many, the food is actually pretty amazing, is adobo. Adobo means marinade. Adobo isn't really a type of food or a specific seasoning or anything like that. It actually translates to marinate or preserve. Excuse me. So anyway, but authentic adobo is either made with pork or chicken. You can use either one. The preferred pork meat to use is pork belly, although you can use other cuts of pork meat, but the pork belly works the best, and I think that is one of the most popular ways to make adobo in the Philippines. You can also use chicken. You can use whole chicken, whole cut up chicken to make adobo, which is delicious. Today we're going to make pork adobo, and we're going to use pork belly. So let's get to it and let's make some pork adobo. All right, so what I've got going on here is I've got just shy, it's a 1.75 pounds. It's 1.76 pounds of our pork belly. All right, so I've got my pork belly right here. Okay, I generally speaking like to, for the adobo, I like to pick one that has a little bit more meat, but you also want that fat, and you're gonna render this fat while you cook it, and we'll get to that point. But right now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put together the marinade, and like I said before, adobo basically in a nutshell is marinate or preserve. And so what we're going to do is we're going to throw together our marinade. And what I've got here is I've prepared onion. I've got half of a large onion cut up. I've got a half a cup of vinegar. Doesn't matter what kind of vinegar you can. This is apple cider vinegar. You could use regular white vinegar. You could use the organic apple cider vinegar. I have that as well. You want to use soy sauce. I'm using just regular Kikkoman soy sauce. You want pepper. A lot of the recipes call for peppercorn. I just put pepper in it. Garlic. You use quite a bit of garlic. I could go the route and chop up a bunch of garlic because I do have a bunch of garlic, but I'm going to go ahead and do it easy and use this minced garlic. And then I like a little heat with my adobo. And so I'm going to throw a little cayenne pepper in there, and then we've got a couple of bay leaves. So we're going to start out by cutting up the pork, and you want to cut it. You want to cube your pork up. So I'll start with that, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make about 1-inch cubes. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut it approximately 1 inch. Okay. Having a sharp knife is a big plus. Okay, so now we've got our 1-inch cubes, and now I'm going to cut. We've got our 1-inch slices. Now I'll cut these into 1-inch cubes. Approximate. If you want them to be larger chunks, make larger chunks. If you want them to be smaller, make smaller. I honestly, like these aren't exactly 1-inch cubes, right? But I've got nice 1-inch by 1-inch cubes here. Okay? And then just as you cut them up, throw them in your bag. I have a zippy bag here. Because remember, adobo means to marinate. And what we're going to do is we are going to marinate this. I'm gonna leave that one alone. I'll cut this one in half. Okay. So put everything in the bag. It's gonna be a party in the bag, okay? So there we go. All right, so we're done messing with the meat. Okay, now all you're gonna do, grab that. All we're gonna do now is, and this part is up to you. You don't have to put the onions in here. You can actually put the onions in when you're cooking it. But I just throw everything together, marinate it all together, and then I take it straight from here right into the pan and cook it. So I'm going to throw the onions in. We're going to throw the soy sauce in. And you notice there's no salt. Okay? Because guess what? Soy sauce. Okay, we're going to throw the vinegar in. All right. I'm going to use, a couple heaping tablespoons of garlic. Now, like I said, if you want to go chop up a bunch, and really if you're going to use fresh garlic, all you got to do is peel it, mash it, rough chop it, throw it in there. Okay, I'm just doing this quick, so we're getting already prepared. Now I'm gonna put quite a bit of pepper in here. I mean, measurement wise, I don't know. I'm just gonna put quite a bit. And like I said, if you want to just use peppercorns, just throw peppercorns in there. I personally don't care for biting into a big, huge peppercorn. Just me personally. Here we go. A bunch of pepper. All right, so the last thing I'm going to put in here is some cayenne. All right, I'm just going to take it. This is totally optional. The cayenne is totally optional, okay? And I'm probably putting maybe a teaspoon of cayenne. And that's it. It's everything. It's a party in a bag. It's squeeze the air out as best you can. Then you want to make sure it's sealed. Okay, now we're gonna mix it all up in here. Get it all mixed up. Okay? And you're going to pop it in the refrigerator. And you're going to leave it in the refrigerator. I would suggest anywhere from a couple of hours, say 2 hours, to overnight. Okay, I'm going to cook this tonight, so it's about 11 o'clock in the morning right now. And I plan on cooking this evening. But there it is. We'll take this and we'll throw it in the refrigerator. And what I will do is about once an hour or so, I will open it up. I'll mash it around, just like this, and then throw it back in the refrigerator. Okay, so that's it. That's the preparation, and next we will get to cooking. All right, so it is I don't know, it's about 7 o'clock actually at night. And my adobo. Here it is. It's been marinating for about 6 hours, 6.5 hours in the refrigerator. I got in there about, I don't know, once an hour and just kind of squished it around. And now we are going to cook it. The nice thing about this way of cooking adobo is it's one pan. One bag, one pan. Really, that's it. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna go ahead and start heating up my skillet. If you've got a wok, use a wok, whatever. But this skillet works just fine. We're gonna fire it up on medium heat, get the skillet warming up. And then we're gonna throw it in there. You don't have to add any oil or anything to the skillet. If you're using a wok, you can add a little oil to it, get it hot, coat it like you would normally a wok. I don't have a wok, or I would do that. But let's go ahead and get started. I literally, all I do is I just take everything into the bag and I put it in the skillet. Just like that. And generally speaking, make a mess in the process. And then we'll just start cooking our adobo. Okay, as you can see, it's starting to come up to temp. Getting a little bit of bubbling going on there. Once it comes up to temp and it starts to simmer real good, I'm going to simmer it just like this. I'll simmer it just like that for, I don't know, probably 15 minutes. I wish you could smell it. It smells amazing. At this point right here, at this point in time, you really don't want to mess with it too much. You just want to let it simmer. It's gonna start rendering the fat that's on the pork, and then once we get it really good and hot, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some water. I'll probably stir it. Once it gets good and hot, stir it a couple of times. You know, kind of flip the meat around so it's kind of cooking on both sides basically. And then once it simmers like this, like I said, for probably a good 15 minutes, I'll probably stir it a couple of times. And then what I'll do is I'll add some water. I got 2 cups of water here. I most likely won't put 2 cups of water in here, but then we are going to literally cover it and turn the heat down a little bit and let it simmer. And you're going to simmer it, I'm going to say a good hour till the liquid cooks down. And you might add some more water at that point in time, depending on how tender the meat is. What you're doing right now is we're just simmering the meat, all right? And then we're going to turn up the heat. Right, we're going to add the water, we're going to simmer it for probably an hour. We'll stir it once in a while, not too much. And you're going to reduce the liquids down. And then what we're going to do is at the very end, we're going to, I guess you could, I don't know. You're going to cook it down and you're going to kind of fry it at the end, for the lack of a better word. You'll see when we get to that point. I'll make sure you guys see every stage of cooking this. But this is the most important part. You know, marinating it, like I said, you could do it 20 minutes, you could do it 2 hours, you could marinate it overnight. I've marinated it overnight. It was amazing. But you don't need to. All these flavors are going to permeate through that meat in this process right here. And this is the key to making excellent pork adobo. Okay, so we'll just, like I said, let this simmer for a while. I'll stir it a couple of times, and then once I've done that, I'll add the water. And we're going to add enough water to almost cover it. And then we'll cover it up with a lid, turn the heat down, and let it slow simmer. And that's what's going to, this meat will be so juicy and tender when we're done and flavorful. It's incredible. I do have my soy sauce here just in case I want to add just a touch more soy sauce to it. I doubt it, but there's always the chance. Also, just FYI, I didn't use it, but you can use the dark aged soy sauce. I mean, soy sauce is aged anyway, but you can use the dark soy sauce, you can use light soy sauce, you can use whatever soy sauce you want. You can mix the light soy sauce with your regular soy sauce. Whatever. You want to use a low sodium soy sauce, use low sodium soy sauce. Whatever you like. But the soy sauce and the vinegar, the garlic. Oh yeah, I forgot to show you earlier in the video when I was putting the marinade together, I forgot to put the bay leaves. You want to put a couple bay leaves in it. I don't know if you can see them in here, but the bay leaves, there's one. No, that's onion. The bay leaves are in here. They're definitely in here somewhere. But I put 2 bay leaves in here. Or as they call it in the Philippines, laurel. Laurel leaves. But there's 2 bay leaves in here. There's a piece of one right there. They were whole bay leaves, but they're broken up now because I was macerating that marinade into the meat. If you don't like laurel, leave the bay leaves out. My wife, she doesn't like bay leaves. She doesn't like laurel. And, you know, it's kind of funny because bay leaves literally have no flavor, no odor, they really don't, as far as I know, they don't really add anything flavor-wise to the meat. My understanding from reading, of course, is that bay leaves are medicinal. They are good for your health. All right, so we're simmering really good right now. I'm going to give it a stir. There's the other bay leaf right there. See all the wonderful onions and garlic in there. Oh my gosh. Looking good though. Looking really good. If you could, I wish there was smell-o-vision, because if you could smell this, oh man, it smells good. Now, a damn gut. Because I keep cooking stuff like this. Alright, I'm confident now. We're going to go ahead and we're going to add in some water. I'll go ahead and put the whole 2 cups in there. Okay? Now I want to bring it up again. Get it to where it's bubbling, to a good simmer. Okay? And then we're going to cover it up and let it rock. Okay. We have got it up to temp. Now I'm going to cover it up. Turn the heat down so that we just slowly simmer this, and we're just going to let her go.
So we are at a point now where almost all the liquid has reduced. You notice I had a time lapse going on there because I kind of wanted you to see. It takes a while to get this done, but you see we've got some real nice browning going on there. The meat is rendered down quite a bit, and it's really cooking. I mean, really nice. I mean, it's really cooking nice. This is what it's supposed to look like, okay? This is what adobo looks like when it's cooked, okay? So I'm going to let it cook down just a little bit more, and then I'll show you what I'll be doing next to it. I've already got my rice over here going, and we'll be eating before too long. But this is looking amazing. It really does. And the smell, oh boy, it smells good. And I don't know if you noticed, if you watched the time lapse, I was taking a fork and I was checking it for tenderness. I would just take a fork and just poke it down into it, check it, make sure it's getting tender. And that's what you're looking for when you, and I did put another cup of water in it during this whole process when it was simmering. So I put 2 cups in the very beginning, 2 cups of water, and then about halfway through I added another cup. And I'm just checking it to see, because basically all you're doing is you're simmering it down and you're tenderizing that meat. And now we've got to the point now where we're actually browning the meat, we're searing the meat, and reducing this liquid down to pretty much nothing. I mean, it is literally reducing down to nothing. I mean, there's some fat in there, but I'll stick with me. I'm going to show you how we're going to deal with that, okay? See all your onions and your garlic and everything have caramelized in there. They will mix in with this. Oh, I'm telling you, it'll be just amazing. I'm telling you, this literally just is so tender, moist, juicy, and flavorful. It's incredible. That's why the Filipinos, this is very popular over in the Philippines. But they do it different ways. I mean, they do it a lot hot and faster than I do. I'm cooking it down so that it is just melt in your mouth tender. Okay? That's what we're going to do here. We're going to make it so it literally melts in your mouth. And that's what my goal is. Okay? Also, just, you know, if you don't like a lot of fat too, also you can trim that fat down on your pork belly. Or if you're going to use like a pork shoulder and cube it up like this, you'll trim the fat off. You don't need that much. You need some fat because the fat renders, and it also is what flavors the meat. So you need a little bit of that pork fat, but you can trim the majority of it off if you want. I went ahead and left it on this time, but this is not going to, that fat is not, I mean, all that grease, that rendered pork fat in the bottom of the skillet is not going to end up in what we eat. Okay? I'll show you how I go about that. Okay? As soon, and we're almost ready. I mean, we're almost ready. If I cook this meat much longer, it's probably literally going to fall apart. And that's what I want. I want it to be just that point where it's going to fall apart. But don't fall apart, okay? But it is looking excellent. Pork adobo. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pull it off. And this is how I'm going to do it. I've got a colander inside of it, a bowl, okay? And a slotted spoon. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it in my colander. Okay? So of course, because I'm using a slotted spoon, I'm not just scooping up big old spoonfuls of grease. Okay? Obviously. You want to make sure you get all that garlic and onions as much as that as you can, because man, that caramelized onions and garlic in here is it's just delicious. Okay, there we go. So now I've got it in my colander. Okay, I'm going to give it a little movement, right? And then we're going to get this ready. My rice is real close to being done. I've already turned off my skillet. Yes, I'm going to have fun washing that. No, these skillets wash up really easy. One of the things I love about it. Okay, so let me get this mixed up over here, and we'll put this together. All right, so we've got our adobo, we've got our rice, got a plate and a bowl, of course. So what I'm going to do is I've let this adobo drain, right? I've let it drain all out. Now I'm going to take it and put it in a bowl so we can get a good look at it. That right there is some delicious looking adobo. Nice and juicy. Oh my gosh. It is just, Yep, that is delicious. So what I'll do here is we'll get some rice. And there you go. A beautiful pork adobo and a nice jasmine rice. Does that look good or what? I think it looks amazing. So I am going to go ahead. I'm going to set this down, and we'll give it a little taste test here. Get some rice there. Some adobo. I don't know if I can get the rice and adobo. In the Philippines, they eat pretty much everything with spoons. But here we go. Oh man. That's delicious. Caramelized onion and garlic, soy sauce. Oh, that right there would taste good on a flip-flop. I'm serious. One more bite. Super easy to make. Pork adobo. You gotta try it. If you've never had adobo, you gotta try it. You can do this with chicken. You can do it with cut up chicken breast. You can do it with You can do it with whole bone-in chicken pieces. Legs, thighs, breast, all that. You can do it with a whole. You don't have to cut up in little chunks. You can. Adobo, like I said, adobo means marinate or preserve. So it's not the pork, it's not the chicken, but I'm telling you, it's amazing. You gotta try it. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please click that little subscribe button down there in the corner and subscribe to my channel. It's somewhere down over there in the corner.
And please hit that like button. Leave me a comment. Ask me a question. Good, bad, or ugly, I will answer all your questions. I like the comments. I love reading the comments on my channel. So I will put the recipe for the adobo in the description. Plus I'll link anything, products that you might need to make adobo. I'll put links in there for those as well. So thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Have a great day.